You're tuned in to Community Conversations with the Trio, providing heavy doses of edutainment in the areas of health, education, politics, and business since 2011. You can always find us on the web at cctrio.com or get connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching The CC Trio. And now, your hosts, the Trio, Dr. G, Sean D, and main man Michael Dove, on Community Conversations with the Trio.
This is Sean D with Community Conversations with the Trio, here with a special guest, business entrepreneur extraordinaire, Derrick Woodard, who has been an individual I've had numerous conversations with in regards to all things business relative to starting up a business, growing a business. So for any of you small business owners or future entrepreneurs, you're going to want to tune in closely to this conversation, as this gentleman has done it large and small and continues to do it, as we were just talking about. And we want to have an opportunity to get some information out to folks who may be considering starting a business, as well as I mentioned, just the idea of growing the business that they do have, and of course looking for that almighty dollar to do so. So welcome in, Derrick Woodard. Good to have you. Appreciate you.
Good to be here with you, Sean. Thank you for having me on the show today.
All right. Well, so let's get right to it again. Just so at least do a little bit of an introduction of at least your company, what you do, how long you've been doing it, just kind of a little bit of history and background there.
Sure. I started my company as a sole proprietorship around 1997 as DJ Woodard and Associates. Morphed into a partnership, had several partners, and they, as they do, come and go. And then found out that the best means of incorporation was the Limited Liability Corporation, LLC, which creates the best pass-through for revenue and the least cumbersome with the IRS. I started out working with the University of Central Florida Incubator as a summer intern. That was where I got my start with seasoned businessmen and women who took me under their wings that summer for an 8-week program. And from there, the rest is history. We had monthly forums where we would have individuals come in from all types of businesses and give what we call the 1.5-3 minute elevator pitch. Basically, that is your introduction. We often say in the business, in this industry as a consultant, is that sometimes you get one shot. One shot at the table, one shot in front of an investor. And so, therefore, you must have a clear, concise statement as to what your business is all about. And so, basically, I work with small and medium-sized businesses in developing business plans, marketing plans, how to organize a business, developing proof of concept, and then on the other end of that is trying to determine and help them determine what is the proper funding source for your business. Some individuals jump straight to venture capitalists. That's not where most of you need to go on the day one, because as I have some VC associates, they come to take names, and they're looking for equity. Most of them are looking to get in and get out in 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
For a percentage of your business. And I tell all of my clients, for the most part, you need to retain at least 60% of your business or more. Because anytime you get a 52-48 and you're on the 48 side of the table, guess what? You now become an employee once again. So all your dreams,
same thing you're trying to avoid, you've already put it back into play.
Exactly,
depending on the percentage. So.
If it's a great buyout or a friendly takeover, and you got a nice payout, and you want to retain as an employee and officer of the company, that's great. But going into the game, your first deal is probably not the way to go in the first couple 3 years, unless you're doing a very, very large startup. Most people start with the old family and friends. They exhaust their savings account. Some tap in their 401c, 403b. It's risky. But, the old cliche is, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
All right.
It's tough. And when my kids were young, my son used to say to me, "Dad, I want to be like you when I grow up." Because all you do is you meet and you eat with clients and business people, and you have a good time. And I used to say to him, "Where are you at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to finish the business proposal or a consulting agreement, when I realize that at 8 o'clock I have a meeting and somewhere else to go and be shortly after that?" So I love what I do. Shona, we have many conversations. Business consulting for me is like play at work. I love clients. I love meeting people. I'm very extroverted. And so,
I couldn't tell it all.
Really. But before I get too far down the road, my background. I have a bachelor's in business administration, in management from the University of Central Florida, Orlando. I have a master's degree in counseling, K through 12, from the University of South Florida in Tampa. As I was going through college, it was always my goal to be a consultant. That was my plan from day one. I thought I would be doing more educational consulting, but as it turned out, I fell into a business situation, and that's where I have been. That's the circle that I've been in for a very long time.
All right. And I think most of us end up, as far as career-wise, I can say, I fell into my initial career not knowing it was going to be my career for over 15 years, being in the human resources, tech recruiting field. But you never know how things. You're going with this idea, but you're not sure how it all plays out.
Exactly.
But you just go with it and believe in what it's supposed to be. So. But going to back up a little bit, because you threw a bunch of nuggets out there and kept moving. So I want to go back to you. You were talking about the idea. Well, it's good. I mean, hey, sitting down writing business plans, that's not something I think most folks want to do, right? So not many people get excited about that part. They're excited about their idea, and that's kind of where I want to go there.
Yes.
You have folks who says, "I've got this great idea. I've got this. The next new slice of bread."
Yes.
That's going to change the world.
Yes.
And then as it typically happens, someone asks them about their business plan, and you can get crickets, right? So
yes.
Because then the question really becomes, well, how important is a business plan? If I know what I'm doing, if it hasn't been done, and sometimes we talk about the speed to market.
Yes.
And business planning does take time, but if I don't have one, I mean, really, is that really going to weigh against me?
Yes, Sean. All of the investors or money managers and financial circle that I've dealt with since '97, they want to see a plan. They want to see that you have a clear and concise way, and you can state what it is that you want to do, how you plan to do it, how much money it takes, and who's at the table. Because you can tell me all day long, you can give me 5 sentences, 3 paragraphs of what it is. But when you put the pen to the paper, it solidifies. And believe it or not, I have never seen a business plan that did not morph or change over time. Mm-hmm. In fact, one of the most expensive plans that I've seen that I didn't write was about $50,000, and that was
for the business plan.
For the plan. That was many years ago, and I was sitting in a meeting in Tampa at a breakfast, and I just happened to be sitting at the table at the individuals that wrote the plan. Did not know it. The client was back in Orlando. Had a brief conversation, didn't disclose anything that shouldn't have been disclosed. I get back to Orlando, have a conversation with the client, and find out within 3 months, they changed their whole concept, which means the plan that they paid $50,000 for
is just null and void at that point.
It was a nice walk in the park, a paperweight. So,
but did that plan, or maybe if you do know, did that plan, in developing that plan, did that help kind of design the new vision, or was it just we're just changing gears?
Well, the client had a vision in their head. The main key was how they were planning to finance it. It was a real estate deal. Almost no one in that day, they don't give you money to start a real estate company.
Okay.
That's not normal.
That's not. Yeah. That's what banks. Well, even banks don't really do that.
Yeah.
Either.
You find an asset. Right. You find an asset that's viable, that warrants a certain amount of money, and then that's where the negotiation begins from there. But yeah, I spend. I give any clients that I speak with, I give them 2 hours of free consultation time. That's what I call the look and see. That's the free look.
All right.
It's like courtship. It's like the one date. Come on now.
So you get 2 hours to see if
2 hours.
the relationship is going to extend.
Exactly, because I have had situations where the client really didn't like my style.
Okay.
I have a situation where I didn't think the client was being totally honest about how they were going about it, and I didn't feel comfortable. So at the end of the day, we shook hands. We may have had coffee, we may have had dinner, we may have had breakfast, and we left like we found each other, alone.
Okay.
But that gives me an idea of what the client is thinking, what they're planning to do, and it also gives them an opportunity to see me and to see how I perform in the business arena. I think it's very important. That's how I like to see my clients as relationships and not just a client, because once we engage in a contract setting, I spend a lot of time and a lot of energy, because I treat your business as if it was my business. Because at the end of the day, Sean, if you win, I win, we win.
Right.
And I tell individuals,
it's more of a partnership.
It's a partnership.
Okay.
And I tell individuals that I meet, I said, my reputation with my investors is key. It's important to me. So I work very hard at trying to ensure that, one, the business fits their sweet spot. It also fits their financial model. And it also allows everyone, again, to win. Because, again, you don't want to spend 15 years of your dream, write a plan, get money, and then find out that, it didn't work. So a lot of thought. And most clients, many will fight tooth and nail on the I don't need a plan. And I will tell them, I can't sell it without a plan.
Right.
Or an executive summary with some flesh. My goal is to try to help you put flesh on the bones.
Okay.
You have a skeleton.
Which is the idea.
That's the idea. That's the concept. Okay. And my goal is to try to help you put the flesh on it and to take it to the next level through my coaching or consultation with you in the process.
So even in the if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about designing a plan, or even looking at considering a plan, to begin putting some items down, so I could take it to Renaissance Consulting and have Derrick Woodard take a look at it. Is there any part you would say that spend the time on to do first to really ferret out?
Yes, spend the time to research your concept. Find out who your competition is, whether it's across the street or whether it's in the next state or the next city. I've had clients say to me, they have a brand new concept, they're very excited, and they said, I have no competition. I go home, knowing within the next 48 hours, and I will come back with a free list of who your competition is. It sometimes just blows them out of the water. I'm not trying to show that I have all the answers, but I want them to think very hard that there's very few things, business ideas that you have that someone else has not thought about or has already done, whether it failed or whether it's a viable business. Many times it's been thought about.
Right. Okay.
As a kid, I thought about home delivery of grocery stores many years ago. I said, what if you could take the assisted living facilities, you order before online, you call the grocer, you give me your order, and I deliver it to your door.
All right.
Pick up my check, my cash, and I'm out the door.
I think the other side as entrepreneurs and future business-minded individuals, is there a point where you overanalyze and then you don't act on an idea that, like you said, you need to think it out, but when is that cutoff to say, all right, I've thought it and now I need to move?
Well, Sean, if I had that answer, I'd be a billionaire already. There is no real magic.
So it's a moving target.
It's a
depending
moving target.
on what you're doing, how you're doing it.
And what I encourage,
the environment that is as well.
And what I encourage clients to do is not get analysis paralysis. I didn't coin that phrase. Analysis paralysis, where you analyze and overanalyze, and you can't move. Mm-hmm. You get paralyzed just by thinking about it.
Right.
At some point, you got to pull the trigger.
Right. So, again, coming to Renaissance Consulting, that you could help them again, at least plot out. All right, have you thought about this? So you thought about that, but then once you have it and you feel like it, right, this is an idea. Like you said, this is an idea I can sell to the investors or to those who may find it interesting as well. Let's get it going and get some funding in the way there.
And an old adage is this: no decision is still a decision.
So no decision is still a decision.
Because you decided not to move.
Mm-hmm. We have to still have a whole nother show dedicated to that right there. But I think a lot of people do that too. So I'm not going to make a decision. Well, I agree with you. In not making a decision, you did just make a decision. And again, I mean, we can talk about this because the idea that even businesses, there's the small business environment. I don't know if folks know that the majority of businesses actually that support this economy are actually termed small businesses.
Yes. And
now the category of small business is a pretty wide range.
Right.
When you look at the dollar figure, as I understand, but it's still a small business.
And if I'm not mistaken, and you can find this on the state of Florida, if you're in Florida, and this is, I know we're speaking worldwide, but every municipality or every state has their own business development or business regulation department, and that's accessible by website. But that information is available, and I tell my clients, I'll give you as much low cost and no cost advice as I can, because at the end of the day, I want you to be successful.
Right.
So it's important to do your homework. Mm-hmm. Know your market.
Yes. So then I think that's the echo there is doing that homework to know what it is you're really getting into. Yes. And as we had a conversation a little bit earlier, is talking about the idea that is it something that you're going to sleep in, if it's need be, as talking about folks sleeping in their franchise business. Going to bed there and waking up to do it all over again.
Yes.
So, that do you have that drive or that passion to do it?
Exactly.
Or is it something that is just a good idea that maybe, maybe you can sell that idea to someone?
Or, I tell people all the time, and again, it's not original, you cannot run your business like a hobby. If you're in business to make money, you cannot run your business like a hobby, because it will fail. You may not run out of money, but you will spend a lot of money just by being there. Most clients, many will start out by trying to get the most expensive office space or real estate. I am not a proponent of that. But, the old adage is location, location, location. Depends on where you are. I've had office space for a long time, but I normally do a virtual office type concept. I have a phone. I have a receptionist that live answers at certain times. I have an office. I have a conference room. I have an address, a physical address of that building, and I send them a check. Actually, it's automatically taken out of my bank account every month. And so, as you grow, then you grow in office space if that's what you need. But don't go out and buy the most expensive furniture, the most expensive computer, and rent the most expensive office where you can find it with no clients. It normally doesn't work that well.
Right. So build the business first and then focus on. All
Exactly.
Exactly. If it allows. Is that
Exactly.
And I can already hear some folks saying, "Well, I've got to, that whole idea.
Image.
Fake it till you make it, right?"
Well, if you using your money, my money, and our money, I have seen investors, and I've said to clients, why do you need that expensive office space going into it? Because your overhead is already, at a margin that's possibly out of range. Mm-hmm. So have you considered office space somewhere else that's close by that you can live with? And that's important. It's important.
All right. Now, and I'm going to let you go here as I appreciate your time, but before you go, are there tips you can give to say, if as a business owner, as a considered entrepreneur, is there items that you say this is what you would need to think about, or here's what you would need to do in order to have some future success in what you're trying to do?
One is this, Sean. Normally, if you start right, if you have a solid foundation, you'll end up right. You can't build on a foundation that's not solid. So if your concept has been proven, if you're dedicated, if the team is dedicated, you find the right people, the right business, and the right funding sources, you have a much better chance of being successful than if you're trying to do it, as we used to say, flying by the seat of your pants. Mm-hmm. I can see through it. Investors can see through it. It's important that you understand that if you are an entrepreneur, you must include your salary into the business plan. I've seen business plans and there was no salary for the CEO. And I asked him, how do you plan to eat? How is your family going to survive if you have no salary? This is your business. Investors want to see you have a salary that's commensurate with the experience and with the business. Now, mind you, you don't start out most with a $500,000 salary
and bonus structure.
And a bonus structure in year one. Normally it happen that way. That's one thing. Again, know your market. Understand your market. Understand the market you're playing in. Understand your competition. You need to have a unique concept or have a concept that builds on something that has already been done, proven, tested, and tried. And then you are enhancing that. And that's where patents and copyrights and those things come into play.
We didn't even get into all that.
No, we didn't. That's another show for another day.
Another show. Yeah.
So your business structure is key.
All right. And starting out having a solid foundation.
Solid foundation.
Establishing that foundation.
Yes.
Then knowing your business and knowing your competition, more importantly, who you're going to be either competing with or potentially competing with.
Yes.
Because even talking about the potential of folks who will hear about your business and then those who are also getting that market, swim in that water that you're in. Again, this is just a taste of an idea to get you started. But if you needed more information, if folks, Derrick, wanted to get in touch with you and wanted to either reach out to you through the web or any other way, is there some way they can get in contact with you?
The best way to call me is through my cell phone, which is 863-521-6311, or my office at Renaissance Consulting Group, which is located in Orlando, Florida, home of the mouse, at 407-926-0327. Again, the office is 407-926-0327. My cell phone, 863-521-6311. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you. And you heard him say earlier, 2 hours free.
Yes.
See if the date goes any further than that beyond drinks.
Yes.
All right. So, Derrick, appreciate your time. And again, you've been listening to Sean D. here with Derrick Woodard of Renaissance Consulting, talking about the business concepts. And by all means, definitely check him out. He's been a valuable resource to what we've been doing and some other opportunities that we've been working on, and we'll continue to do so. So that is an opportunity that if you get a chance, you're thinking about it, definitely give them a call. All right? Appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed another edutaining episode of Community Conversations with the Trio. To keep the conversation going, stay connected with us by visiting cctrio.com and following us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching The CC Trio. Community Conversations with the Trio. Dr. G, Sean D, and main man Michael Dove.